Hi friends, my name is Grace and I'm so glad you joined me for today's devotional. So we've been taking a closer look at the Lord's Prayer, and today I'm going to lead us through the end of that prayer, which is Matthew chapter 6 verse 13. I'm reading out of the ESV. It says, "And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." I decided to look into the word temptation in this verse. And I noticed that there are two words that are equivalent to this word in this verse. And those two words are trial and testing. So temptation, trial, and testing. These are all three of those words are equivalent to the context of this verse. And when I learned that, it got me thinking about how we all go through difficulties in life. We face trials, we're tested in life, and it's really hard to go through life's testings, life's trials, if we don't know Jesus. And knowing Jesus and going through difficulties not only gives us strength, but we learn so much wisdom from those trials because God shows himself to us, and we learn things about ourselves and about him, and we get stronger in our faith and in our relationship with God. And we ultimately get stronger because of it. And so I also saw how this verse is an acknowledgement of our weakness, because we are broken, we are sinful, we are weak people, but God is our strength. And so it's important for us to ask God to strengthen us whenever we face life's difficulties. And we also need to make sure that when we do face these trials, we make sure that we choose to honor God through those trials, because when we ask for God's strength, we are also asking him to bring us closer to him when we face trials. Because if we don't make the conscious decision to honor God through those trials and make wise decisions, there's the opposite, which is choosing not to acknowledge God, choosing to fall back away from God, and fall into sin, fall into temptation. So those are two extremes that we have the choice to go towards. And I know that for me, this past school semester, I faced a lot of difficulties at school. I was dealing with a lot of new things. I was facing a lot of new circumstances. Some of them good, some of them bad. But especially for the trials, I had to make the conscious decision to either make choices that honor God through those difficulties, or take things into my own hands, disregard God's strength that he can give me, and fall into sin, fall into temptation, give into anxiety. And so I decided that it was better to trust God and rely on him for my strength. And I did. And even though the outcomes were not what I was expecting, nor did I really want those outcomes, I knew that I had trusted God and relied on his strength, and I was ultimately a better person because I had relied on God's strength and God's wisdom through those difficulties. And so my encouragement to you is, when you face life's difficulties, ask God for strength, because you know your weakness, you acknowledge your weaknesses, so ask God for strength. And also ask him to bring you closer to him when you face difficulties. You can either choose to draw closer to God when life tests you, or you can fall into sin and temptation. I encourage you to choose the first option, which is to trust God and rely on his strength. Ask God to strengthen you and to help your relationship with him become stronger through life's difficulties. All right, friends, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time.